so moving. And I've realized, even if we're reaching one person,
yes,
we're doing the work.
We reached the goal.
We reached the goal.
Yes.
We've accomplished something, right?
Yes.
High five. Right? We've reached the goal because that's really what it's about.
That's what it's about.
It's about us healing and helping others.
Helping others to heal and to encourage. Yes. And to let them know that it's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Wow. And so that moved me. I said, I have to share that. And I sent that person like so many hearts and thanked them for encouraging me.
Yes. Me too. I appreciate that. That was wonderful.
Wow. So please keep sending those DMs and those text messages and those emails.
Yes.
We read them.
We do. Yes, we do. We appreciate every one of them.
Wow. So, okay, to bring us back up, is this the 8th?
Yes.
The 8th of January, I feel like I've done so much.
Right.
I've had to accomplish so much in 8 days.
Wow.
And we have, the rest of the year to go.
The rest of the year to go. And we thank God that we have the rest of the year to go.
So where do you start? You already said the food. You already said health.
I already started.
You started.
Mm-hmm. I already started.
Charting your course.
Charting my course. I already started this journey.
Awesome.
Yes.
And are you encouraging other people along the way to join you in that?
Well, not in the chicken, but to eat healthier. I just think that we have one body, one life, and like you said, some people don't get the opportunity that we do. Mm-hmm. So why not do the best that you can with what you have? So if that means eating healthier, some people only can get to chicken. Okay, well, let's cook it different. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I don't like to put too much pressure on how I'm doing. I can encourage and let them know what's working for me. But I think everyone should try to at least have that goal of eating healthier. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I do hear a little voice in my head telling me like, okay, Dana, you let Stephanie share where she was, right? That you learned to live without your spouse. Mm-hmm. And I know if I get off this mic, you're going to be like, hey, you didn't say, okay.
Thank you. I'm waiting. So, and they are too.
Right, yeah. Because I can hear my sister and other people like, hey, let's check in with you. And so it's a check-in. And so I am learning to live without my spouse after a year and a half.
Okay.
And what that means for me is I have accepted that my spouse is no longer here. I am going through the various motions. Oh, my nerve is jumping more.
Emotions.
I'm going through the various motions of how do I work through this, navigate this. Mm-hmm. Like you said, there are seasons that you realize, I have to do these things by myself that I'm not used to doing. Mm-hmm. And so those still come up.
Okay.
This is now a new quarter. I have to do this or whatever. But it means for me as I'm learning and accepting, because I was pretending for a little bit that he was just away.
Right. I think we all do that.
On a long trip.
Yes.
And that was helping me, Mm-hmm. But learning means to accept and to recognize.
That's good.
Recognize.
That's good.
And it's a learning process. It's a learning process.
Right.
That it's okay for me to move forward.
Yes.
In certain areas. There's decisions that I don't necessarily like making without him.
Yes. Yes.
And I feel like I need that check-in with someone, you know, but there's really no one that's, I want to say, adequate enough to really help me with that.
There's just no Z.
Right. Exactly.
Even if they was adequate enough, it's still not Z. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
So that soundboard, however, you know, so those are really my goals, or no, my hurdles really, that still has me in that place of learning. You know, in I'm not really, I'm an analytical thinker.
Yes, you are.
So I may from time to time overthink things, overanalyze things.
Yes, you
whereas I had a spouse that was very decisive, strategic, and could look at it and make that decision and be okay with the decision. Okay. And there are little small things like that I can like rely on Amira or Erica, my daughters. They kind of have that trait.
Oh, okay.
You know, those little things. I say, hey, what color should this be? And they'd be like, blue.
Okay.
I'm like, you sure? Should it be teal? Should it be, no, blue.
Okay.
You know, so I can rely on them sometimes for that. But
Okay.
there are other things, you know. And then when it comes to decisions about, you know, career choices or business practices and things like that, that I was able to really lean on him about. He's not there for those discussions.
Learning.
And also, you know, there's times where we need to talk about our kids
Right.
to somebody.
Right.
And you know that's a confidentiality, you know, situation that's not going to come back up or thrown in your face, or, you know, and you're not going to have to hear about it through your children. Like, you were talking, you know. So I really, really miss.
Me too. I miss that part
discussion,
of it too. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so I'm really learning that it's okay to do these things on my own. It's okay.
And feel good about the decisions that you make, even if it's not the correct one or the best one. Still feel good about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Accept it.
Yes.
Accept it and be proud about it. Because I did that on my own.
Yes.
You know, and so so I'm it's a learning curve for me right now. Of course, missing him daily, which, you know, you'll always. But learning to navigate, you know, life single.
Right. Single. And it's a different type of single to me. It's different from when we were single before we got married.
Right.
It's a different single being married and now you're single. It's different.
It's different.
I think it's the experience.
So so I don't know when I'll get to that stage where you are, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with learning.
And it took a while. Remember I said it took a while for me. It took a while for me to get to learn. I'm 5. I'm going on 6.5 years now. So yeah. So that's maybe not be long to some people, but that's long to me. You know. So to get to where I am, I'm so thankful because it was hard for me. It was very hard for me. You was there.
Right.
So it was very hard for me. So and don't put no pressure on you. Yeah. You'll get there.
And learning, and you know, it's strange because you learn that, or you start, your eyes are open to other things, and we'll tackle those things in another
in another setting
and podcast.
Yes.
Some really interesting conversations, some really interesting topics that you know, you may prepare for, be preparing for, or you may be experiencing. But you know, what does dating look like, or
the wedding ring,
or the wedding ring? You know, I think the wedding ring is our next topic.
It is the wedding ring. That's gotta be a good one.
The wedding ring,
right?
It's next
The difference.
Exactly.
I have mine on. She has hers on.
Yes. Learning.
Learned.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a process.
It's a process for sure.
And you may be getting, looks from opposite sex, and you're used to not entertaining that.
Right.
And so what do you do?
Right. Those going to be some good topics.
Those are going to be some really good topics.
Make sure you tune in.
Please
listen, because those are going to be some good ones.
Because there are some things that's coming up that you do not want to miss. I am in the learning seat. I'm the student.
I learned, but I still do find some things that I have learning. I'm like, oh, okay. Especially when you talk about this dating, I'm like, girl.
They say when the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
Okay.
So I guess I will play the student.
For a little bit. Girl, I'll be a student sometimes too, but most of the part when it comes to that, there are other things, I should say, other topics we'll talk about that I'm learning, of course, because it's a whole totally different lifestyle. So,
wow.
Yeah.
So is there something, as we wrap up, is there something that you want to share with our listeners, or you want them to take away from our topic, which is called Cheers to You? Because we named it Cheers to You because we've made it to another year.
Right.
We're still here. We're still growing. We're looking forward to this year. We're not going to be amongst the 60% who fails after 60
we're sure not
months of the resolution, but we're working towards those goals and those accomplishments that we have set for ourselves that aligns with our purpose.
I would like to say, when you're setting your goals or your new beginnings, they don't have to be big ones. They can be simple. They can be small. As long as you push forward, you can do it. How you do it, that's on you. And you make your own decision on your goals, when you want to do it, how you want to do it. And know that you're still here and you have a purpose.
I like that. I like that.
Thank you.
I would like to add to that.
Okay.
And actually, I think you hit all the points, but know that you are still here. You are valuable as an individual.
Yes.
As a couple, you are dynamite.
Right.
But as an individual, you're still dynamite.
Yes.
And you have a purpose, and God has a plan for you.
Yes.
And you can do it.
Yes.
And joining our community, whether you're a widow or a single woman, married woman, or widower, or someone again who just lost someone and you've stumbled across our podcast, know that we are here.
Yes.
And we will be opening our mics and our phone lines as we get used to this podcast and everything that we're doing. But we want to hear from you. We do.
Yes.
Drop us a DM, send us an email.
Yes.
To Widows Peak Next Chapter. That's our Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube channel. Our email is widowspeak for widowspeakforus@gmail.com. Thank you. We're here alone. We don't have our engineer or
right.
social media
right. We're like, what is it?
but hey, just stay encouraged.
Stay encouraged and know that you can do it.
You can do
New
this.
beginnings.
New beginnings.
Thank you for listening to
Widows Peak.